Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you all are doing well today. Elliot here. Welcome back to the Fragrance Well. Guys, it is hot. Listen, I live in Florida. Obviously, it's usually mostly hot here, but you know what? There is still a distinction between spring and summer in Florida. The distinction is once the sun goes down, usually in the springtime, it'll start to cool off immediately. It may hit the 70s, sometimes maybe even the upper 60s. But when it is summertime, it stays 85, it stays 88. Last night, that was the case for me. I got home after midnight last night. It was still 88 degrees, and I was like, it's pretty much official. Summertime is here in Florida. Now, it's not official on the calendar, and I know we're pretty much going through a heat wave right now in the States, so there's a lot of places where the temperatures are ridiculously high. But yeah, when the sun goes down and it stops getting cool, that's official for Florida. It is summertime, and the humidity, good God, man. Anyway, that's what we're talking about today. We're gonna go ahead and start talking about some summer fragrances. I have got 10 fragrances here out of my collection that I think are great summertime fragrances. Some of these I've already been wearing because, like I said, it's been hot anyway for the most part during the day, but these definitely shine in the summertime, so I want to give them some highlight for today. So let's go ahead and get into it. Before we get started, as always, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and please hit that bell icon, enable notifications so you can be notified when I upload new videos. Let's get into it. All right, first one's coming from the house of Xerjoff. This is gonna be Neo. Xerjoff Neo. And this is gonna be my scent of the day. Today, I haven't worn this in a while, and I feel like today's gonna be a good day to do it. I'm gonna be outside today for a majority of the afternoon into the evening, just like I was yesterday. It's gonna be hot. I'm gonna be playing drums. Ugh. Anyway, this is a good scent for that. This is fresh, first and foremost. Really nice bergamot in the opening of this. Some fresh spices adding to that freshness, kind of a pop that this has. A little bit of a soapiness coming from a little bit of neroli in this fragrance as well. And it's fairly green, kind of fresh green, and then woody and dry in the dry down. This is a perfect summertime fragrance. I'm sure many of you guys already know about this. I know some of you guys, this is a favorite of yours, so it shouldn't be a surprise. Neo is an excellent warm weather fragrance, and I do feel that this fragrance does well for outdoor activities. I actually haven't worn it in the environment I'm going into today. I'm curious to see how it does when the humidity really kicks up and I'm just sweating profusely. I want to see how this fragrance does in that environment. I've worn it outside before, but not with that. Once again, from the house of Xerjoff, this is gonna be Neo. Next one is coming from the house of Mason Francis Kirkjohn. We've got Aqua Cologne Forte. Mason Francis Kirkjohn, Aqua Cologne Forte. Since we are in the spring and summer months, depending on where you are, tea fragrances, I think, just do very well for that. I have been adding a lot of tea fragrances to my collection. Let's see, I've got 2 other tea fragrances in addition to this one for this list. So here, matcha green tea is the tea of choice for this fragrance. It's overall green, very fresh, awesome lime-like citrus with this fragrance, supported with a strong note of fennel. I think that is a very interesting combination for the scent, but it all blends together very, very well, and lots of musk on the dry down. This is a excellent warm weather scent. Many might say maybe not the first choice in terms of a tea scent for like the peak of summer, but one thing's for sure, you can wear this in warm weather and it's gonna smell amazing. It really does pop in the air once your skin starts to heat up with that summertime sun. So once again, from the house of Mason Francis Kirkjohn, we have got Aqua Cologne Forte. Next up, coming from the house of Bond number 9, it's the scent of peace for him. Bond number 9, the scent of peace for him. All right, just a side note, I've mentioned it before. I do think this fragrance is, or at least I've been told, it's back ordered like up to a year and a half out. Again, I don't know how accurate that is, but I have been told by a Bond number 9 representative that this fragrance is sold out, and it's gonna be sold out for a while due to the ingredients just being behind schedule. I don't know if there was a bad crop or whatever it was. All I know is the brand owner does not want to reformulate it as a result, so it's just going to be out of stock for a while. It is what it is. But anyway, this fragrance, pineapple, blackcurrant, giving this very juicy, tart, fruity smell that this fragrance has. It combines with a lot of juniper, that magical cooling effect of juniper, so you get the fruitiness and that cooling effect of this scent. And for me, I think there's maybe some vetiver and some musk at the base of the fragrance. It's not overly strong though, in my opinion. It's just kind of there to make up the bed. As a result, this was my scent of the day yesterday. First of all, that combination of that tart citrus and that juniper smells amazing in high heat. There's no doubt about that. Smells great. However, I do think, at least for me, that this scent, because it doesn't really have really heavy base notes, kind of fades away if you're in a situation where it's really, really harsh. In other words, humidity is very high, it's super hot out, and you're sweating profusely as a result. So this fragrance kind of faded on my skin overnight. It's just because I was just sweating like crazy. I mean, my skin was sticky and dirty. I mean, any fragrance is gonna suffer in that environment anyway. So it's not quite a knock on this, just FYI. Smells great in the high heat, but if you're doing something really, really active, or it's just ridiculously humid, it may not last as long. But again, that's just my experience. It doesn't matter though. In terms of the smell, this is a great high heat fragrance. So for your regular day activities, it's probably fine. Once again, from the House of Bond number 9, this is the Scent of Peace for him. All right, moving on. Next one's coming from the House of Montclair, and we've got La Corday. Montclair La Corday. Once again, shout out to Equality Fragrances for bringing my attention to this scent, because I otherwise would not have known about it. Ah, man. Black tea with a dash of what I would say is lemon and peppermint. That's kind of how I like to describe it. Actual note is actually bergamot and cypress in the scent. Matter of fact, cypress is the bulk of the base note of this fragrance, so it kind of has this fresh green vibe to it, mixing with that black tea. Good thing about this scent is it's somewhat similar to Imagination, but Imagination is a little bit more dense, more of a spicy element. And while I think that is a great summertime fragrance, really just a good year-round fragrance, I think this one is maybe just a little bit more suited for summertime because it's a little bit lighter. It's a little bit more airy in the sense that there's just less going on with it. So if you think that like Imagination is maybe a little too heavy for those peak of summer days, this one could be a good alternative to that. But that being said, I don't think they smell exactly the same. Again, they're just similar. But this scent is great on its own. I get pretty good lasting power out of this when it is hot out. Granted, I haven't tested it in like high humidity because I haven't worn it yet. This is the first time that kind of season has come around since I've had the fragrance, but ain't no doubt about it. Warm weather, this fragrance is awesome. Another tea fragrance as well. And I just gotta say, if you haven't gotten your nose on this yet, I don't know if you can get a sample of it, but if you can, check it out. If you're a fan of Imagination, I think it is safe to say you will like this as well. Once again, from the House of Montclair, this is La Corday. Next one's coming from the House of Creed. We have got Silver Mountain Water. Creed Silver Mountain Water. Pretty much a classic at this point, as far as I'm concerned. Another tea fragrance, of course. I'm gonna guess it's black tea. I don't think there is a specific tea note listed. I might be mistaken, but there's also some galbanum in this, so a little bit of a bitter green feel, a lot of ozonic notes. I think that might be contributing to what some people like to describe as the inky smell that this fragrance has. Loads of musk in this too. Pretty much is how I experienced the dry down of the fragrance, just a lot of musk. And musk is great, in my opinion, for warm weather fragrances, and this has plenty of it. I love how refreshing and cooling this fragrance is. I think there's also some black currant in here, so you got a little bit of a tartness going on. And when the heat hits my skin with this fragrance, it just opens up, and the freshness and cooling nature, the calming nature that it has, all comes to life. And then when that musk really starts to come out once some of the other notes have dried down, it is amazing. Awesome warm weather scent in my opinion. Once again, from the House of Creed, this is Silver Mountain Water. Next one's coming from the House of Day 3 Fragrances. We have got Bani. Day 3 Fragrances, Bani. So if you like a more green take on mango, which I know mango, while not new to the community, is kind of one of the most popular fragrance notes right now, I think, at least, just based on people's reactions when a lot of people are buying, especially for the summertime fragrances. If you like a more green take on mango, this one is worth checking out in my opinion. So you have the mango, but you also got mango leaf. There's nice florals in this, loads of musk, kind of a sugar vibe to the fragrance. To me, this purely smells like vacation, and yes, I do mean warm weather vacation destination. I took it on my vacation, fragrance was perfect. This is excellent for the high heat. It may not necessarily be the loudest fragrance. I have worn this in situations where I have sweated profusely and the fragrance does stay on my skin. Granted, it probably is not like filling up a room, but I don't think the scent was really meant to do that. This is all about a vibe. Great warm weather scent, perfect for the summertime as far as I'm concerned. Once again, from the house of Day 3 Fragrances, this is Bani. Next up, we got another one from the house of Xerjoff. This is gonna be Erba Pura. Xerjoff, Erba Pura. I know, Erba Pura Gold has, taken a lot of people's hearts by storm. And I have smelled it, but I need to revisit it and, maybe I'll pick it up. But this one here, fruits, just kind of a fruity accord. It doesn't really smell like any particular fruits in my opinion. You got tart fruits, juicy fruits, red fruits, fresh fruits. I mean, it's kind of all mixed in there, mixing with some citrus, and then just this really kind of open, airy vanilla, if you will, sweetness. There might be some musk in this as well. One thing's for sure, if you like warm weather scents with some sweetness to them, but you don't want them to be like overbearing, overly cloying, this is one that will work. May not work for everybody. Some people are gonna find this feminine, but listen, this thing opens up in the heat. I like to call this fragrance like spending a night on the town in Miami, like Miami nights. But you can wear this during the day too. It really does open up and just have this kind of fresh but sweet pop to it once it gets out in the heat. It is a sweet, warm weather fragrance and it works well in that regard. Once again, from the house of Xerjoff, this is Erba Pura. Moving on, we got one from the house of Nishane, and this is gonna be Wulong Cha. Nishane Wulong Cha. Yet another tea fragrance. Still one of my favorites in the collection. Still, I think out of the tea fragrances I have, this is overwhelmingly the brightest and most brisk and most fresh tea fragrance. There's a lot of orange flavoring in this, so it does smell like an orange tea to me. Oolong in and of itself is really, really earthy, but they have a lot of things countering that in this fragrance. There's a lot of musk, there's fig, adding a creamy, juicy element to it. The orange accords that they use in this, for me, they just stick around all day long. Loads of bergamot as well. It is very bright and brisk and refreshing and cooling and calming at the same time. And man, does it pop in the heat. This is a warm weather fragrance through and through, and I love this stuff. Perfect for the summer months. And I get pretty good longevity out of this as well. Once again, from the house of Nishane, this is Wulong Cha. Next one's coming from the house of Louis Vuitton, and this is Pacific Chill. Louis Vuitton, Pacific Chill. Still one of my favorite summertime fragrances in my collection. Fruits, just a combination of fruits. Think like apple, maybe some oranges, something like that. And then think like vegetal base, almost, many people have called it a green smoothie. I can't disagree. I think Quality Fragrances called it that. I think the perfume guy called it that, Sebastian. I can't disagree. It's just got this smooth, fruity, green, vegetal kind of combination to it. It's all one accord, and man, does it pop in the heat. If you've not experienced this fragrance yet, it is a quintessential summertime fragrance in my opinion. The first thing that drew me to this fragrance was the lemony accords in the top, but it is so much more than that. And frankly, since I've had it a while, I don't even really focus on that as much anymore. It's just the entire combination of everything, smelling like this fresh, fruity, green smoothie that just really draws me into this scent. And man, just smells great in the warm weather, and I get good longevity out of this as well. Once again, from the house of Louis Vuitton, we've got Pacific Chill. And last but not least, coming from the house of Mancera, this is Sicily. Mancera, Sicily. All right, so if you like peach, peach is definitely the name of the game of this fragrance. I think they got some other fruity accords in here as well. I can't remember if apple is one of them, but in terms of what my nose picks up, it's that peach. Peach, citrus, and a lot of florals and a lot of musk. Kind of a powdery, slightly powdery floral feel to this. There may be some rose, maybe some violet, maybe even some jasmine. It's kind of like a combination. I wouldn't say I smell one in particular standing out. They all blend together very well, but you got the peach and the florals and just a lot of musk at the base of the fragrance. Many might find this to be a little bit feminine leaning. All I can say is this is in a kind of a weird situation for it. This is my favorite fragrance I like to wear if I'm barbecuing. I just find that The sweet and juicy peach mixing with those florals really just kind of cuts through like the smoke and the charcoal and the ash and the smell of the meats on the grill. Just smelling this kind of on my skin or on my clothes, it just kind of cuts through it and gives me a nice balance without just being overwhelmed with a ton of smoke. Just a little bit of a situational thing there, but all through and through, it's a great warm weather fragrance. Great for like a pool party, great for kind of a summertime outing, if you will. I think it's really good for that. Once again, from the house of Mancera, this is Sicily. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Let me know down in the comments below. I know some of you guys are definitely a fan of fresher fragrances. Matter of fact, if you like fresh fragrances, citrus fragrances, maybe versions of fruity fragrances, or maybe fragrances with a lot of musk, it's kind of safe to say you probably enjoy some summertime oriented fragrances. So let me know down in the comments below what some of your favorites are. Looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say. Thanks again for watching all the way into the end. Really do appreciate you guys. Please remember to be well and smell well, and I will see you in the next episode of The Fragrance Well. Have a good one.